that's okay.
Well, apparently I'm the relief. I'm going to start this thing off with asking for a volunteer. This strapping young lad here. Let's have a hand for this man. This guy right here has got a real important job. I need you to take this shovel right here, okay? I need you to come right about here. I need you to stick her straight up in the air in the ground, please. Thank you very much. All right, let's have another hand for this man. Now, as this young miss over here said, I'm the relief. I'll tell you what, how many city slickers here? Let me see a show of hands. City slickers. It don't matter, I can't see anyways, the sun's in my eye right over there. See, I've been all over this country in my short time on this earth, had a lot of different things happen to me, a lot of adventures, and by golly, if you want to know it, I met one of them guys making a print shop, and I was telling him one of my stories one time, and he goes, I'll tell you what, we ought to print that sometime. I go, really? He goes, yeah, you got some stories, you got to put that in print. Well, I said, heck yeah! But then I said, what am I going to tell about? He goes, your stuff. Well, once you know it, right off the bat, we had a title for my memoirs. Heck yeah, my stuff. So if you don't mind, I'm going to just read a few tales from my journey across this great country. Is that all right with you? Yeah. It's a good thing, because I came a long way. Well, I'll tell you one time when I was down there by the docks. I was a long ways from here, right? Not out here in the plains. Anyone here been out by the docks?
I guess we're passing it on.
Well, that's good, because I might offend you.
I want you to videotape him.
Well, anyways, I was down there and I saw this guy, this old sailor, and I swear, he was a pirate. Boy, if he wasn't a pirate, I don't know what the heck he was. He had a peg leg, an eye patch, and sure enough, he had a hook for a hand. Can you believe that? A hook for a hand. Well, I guess I was staring at him a little too much, because he came waddling on over with that hook leg. And he goes, I seen you staring at me over there, and I couldn't help but notice. And I bet you was wondering how's I got that peg leg. And I said, well, shoot, I kind of was wondering how you got that peg leg. Oh, this old pirate, he goes, well, it was horrible, he says, in his pirate voice, you know. You know that pirate voice? They really like that letter R a lot, don't they? Yeah, there you go. Let's hear that again. Yeah. Scare away the coyotes a bit. Anyways, he goes, me and my shipmates was canning another ship. And when they let go with a broadside cannon themselves, they hit his own ship and whomp, off went my leg. I'm like, well, I suppose you'd end up with a peg leg, get your leg taken off by a cannonball. And I said, that must have hurt. You know what he said? You got that right. Well, he turned to walk away, and well, by golly, he caught me watching him again. He huddled on back over, and he says, I seen you looking at me again. I bet you're wondering how I got this hook for a hand. I said, well, I kind of was wondering how you got that hook for a hand. And he says, well, it was horrible. Me and my ship, we was boarded by Malay Indians. We all draw swords and thrust and parry and thrust. Well, this poor old pirate, he goes, well, I thrusted when I should have parried. Whomp! Off goes my hand. There we go. Hey, anytime this half wants to wake up and join in, go right ahead. All right. Well, sure enough, he didn't get too far walking away when he happened to look back over his shoulder, and there I was, staring at that guy again. Well, he comes right back. He says, I saw you was looking at me. Bet you're wondering how I got this eye patch. Well, it was horrible. One day I got this itch. Arr! I forgot I lost my hand. I'll tell you what, I'm glad them cow pies is way back there. speaking of cow pies, how about that supper, huh? I'll tell you what, none says wilderness like, well, two things. Number one, chili. Number two, Biffy. All right, moving on. I was out with my horses one day. This little dog came up to me. It wasn't really a dog, I just called him an old dog. And he says, I see a lot of flies buzzing around your horses and cows. Did you ever shoo them? I said, shucks, no. I just let them go barefoot. All right, moving on to my memoirs here. Yeah. All right, I'm just going to say this right away. We're off the pirate story. Oh, darn it. So, hey, meet me back in that shed. I want to show you something in the Biffy. All right, so I spent a little time out there in Centennial, Colorado. You ever heard of it? All right. Mighty nice little place, isn't it? Yeah. How about them Rattlesnake Cliffs, huh? Yeah. Never lived to tell about that place. Anyways, there's this Eastern lady out there. I believe she runs the old Binneford Ranch. You heard of it? Well, we're in bad shape then. Well, it's a big cattle operation out there at Binneford Ranch, and they brought this old fancy Eastern lady from the way far east out there. And she comes up to me one time, and she says she's ready to take a horseback ride. And she says, can you get me a nice gentle pony? I said, sure. What kind of saddle do you want? English or Western? Well, this old English fancy dancy lady says, well, what's the difference? And I said, well, you want to tell me what the difference is?
One's got a horn one day.
What's that?
One's got a horn one day.
That's right. I said the Western saddle has a horn on it. That's the difference, right? Well, this old lady said if the traffic is so thick here in the mountains that I need a horn, then I don't want to ride. Thank you for my assistance. So, anyways, this sometime before my Colorado days, I was out there in St. Louis. Anyone here been to the old St. Louis? Oh, yeah. All right, what do we call old St. Louis? What else we call it?
Gateway to the West.
The Gateway to the West. Why is that? I don't want to ask too much history. I don't want her to get back up here. That's right. Let's hear that again.
The wagon trains took
A lot of wagon trains took off from St. Louis. Well, what else came out of there?
Beer.
What's that?
Beer.
Yeah. What else? I'm thinking you're on the right lines as far as liquid. What else? What's that?
Can you get my
The old Missouri, right? The old river, right? We did a lot of traveling out of there, didn't we? How the heck we got out of there? I knew this old boy named Pat's Canal. Yeah, the trapper. Yeah. He got from St. Louis, didn't he? All right, moving on. So anyways, there was this one person there who loved canoeing. But every time he bent over to pick up his paddle, he'd get an awful crick in his back. It hurt something fierce. So he went to see the doctor. The doctor checked his back and could not find nothing wrong. But he gave him some advice. He said if it happens again, instead of just picking up the paddle, he should grab it with both hands. Stick the end of it in the ground, just like this shovel right here, and slowly pull himself up, hand over hand, to the top of the paddle. Well, sure as enough, on that next canoe trip, the person reached for his paddle and wham! That crick in his back started hurting again. Well, following the doctor's advice, he stuck the paddle in the ground, hand over hand, and worked his way up the paddle. Well, when he finally was standing up with his back didn't hurt, he was very pleased to find himself up a paddle without a crick. Right. What's it say here? Pause for laughter. That must be a misprint. So, Anyways, in my travels, I gotta tell you, I did a little cowboy myself. Yeah! Believe it or not, I got any cowboys here? Let me see a show of hands, not the sun's down. Any cowboys here? Yeah, you been doing a little wrangling on your own? A little cattle drive? Maybe up the old Beneford, huh? Yeah? Yeah. You just ain't gonna answer me, are you? Well, I'll tell you what, I've always been a little bow-legged. Speaking of bow-legged, I was a bow-legged cowboy. You know why I got fired from that there job, cowboying? Any guesses why I got fired? No, cows did not run over my leg, but it was because I was bow-legged. It's because I couldn't keep my cows together. Pause for laughter. All right. My pirate sounding is a little less libationized. So, anyways, moving on in my memoirs here. Would you believe it or not? You ever seen one of them movie houses? Yeah, well, let me tell you, they got these little buildings and they show these picture shows, these motion picture shows. Man, if that ain't something fancy, I was in love when I saw one of them. I said, by golly, I'm going to work in that place, that movie theater. And they go, well, we need a manager. And I said, well, heck yeah, I used to manage some cattle. And they go, well, you're perfect for the job. So sure enough, got me a job managing this, the old movie house there. It was over there in Amarillo. I'm hoping to make Amarillo by morning. Last time I went to my Amarillo, I lost my wife and girlfriend along the way. Not to mention I broke my leg in Santa Fe. Yeah, no. Actually, I was just singing a song there. All right, so anyways, I was back in this theater up in my plush office there, and well, I'll just read you my story from my memoirs here, if you don't mind. The cowboy lay sprawled across 3 entire seats in that posh Amarillo theater. Well, I had this old boy called the usher. He came by, noticed this, and he whispered to the cowboy, "Sorry, sir, but you're only allowed 1 seat." Well, the cowboy groaned but didn't budge. Well, that usher became more impatient, and he says, "Sir, if you don't get up from there, I'm going to have to call the manager," which was moi. I learned that French from that fancy lady up there at the Bedford Ranch. Anyways, that cowboy, sure enough, he just groaned. Well, the usher was pretty upset. He was hot mad. The usher marched briskly back up that aisle, and in a moment he returned with little old me. Well, together we tried repeatedly to move that old cowboy, but no success. Finally, we done had to go get the sheriff. Well, the sheriff, he surveyed the situation briefly, then asked, "All right, buddy," to this old cowboy, "what's your name?" And that old boy laying there said, "Sam." And the cowboy, that Sam there, so I asked him, "Well, Sam, where are you from?" "Well, Sam," he said with a lot of pain in his voice, "the balcony." That's a true story now. I'd bet my supper on it if I hadn't already ate it. Boy, I tell you what, speaking of supper, let's hear it one more time for them wonderful cooks, huh? Right. Now let's give it up for the person that has to clean up the biffy after that wonderful food. Yeah, well, I'm going to get the heck out of here, folks. I'll tell you what, speaking of cooking, they often ask me when I'm out in my travels, how do you cook out there on the prairie? Well, I just answer, on the range, of course.